What's up guys, it's Ndafara from NKT Studios. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how you can set up your account on TranscribeMe. I'll also show you how you can pass the TranscribeMe exam and start earning money transcribing what you are hearing. Let's start by going to their website, which is www.transcribeme.com. Once you open the website, you see the customer facing site. But what we want is the job facing site. So just look where it says join as a transcriptionist and then just click on it. It will take you to the job site. TranscribeMe is recommended more than the other players such as GoTranscript and Rev because they pay more. They even say it here on the website. So if I just scroll a little bit, you can see here they say we pay more than anyone. They also mention that the starting earnings are between $15 and $22 per audio hour and that the average monthly earnings are $250. Just keep in mind that this money, that is the $15 to $22, is for an audio hour and not an hour of work. You typically need something like 2.5 hours of work to make an audio hour. But if you're really good, it can be less than that. To create your account, just click on join today here and it will open up the account register page where we have to fill in our details. So just fill in your details and notice that you need to put your payment account, which is PayPal. So you need to have a PayPal account. Just remember that you need to use your real name, that is the name on your government issued identity documents. You then need to enter your country, time zone, your preferred notification language. For me, it's going to be English, but there are other options there. Your gender, your employment status, as well as your transcription experience. Next up, you have to choose the languages that you can transcribe. As you can see here, some languages have more than one option because there are different dialects for that particular language. As you can see here, there's English North American, English British. If I scroll down, you can see that there's France French, Canadian French, Belgian French, and if I scroll down further, you can see there's different Portuguese as well as different Spanish. I'll just go back up and select all the English options. If you can understand other languages and can comfortably transcribe them, you can select them here as well. You don't need to put your Skype and phone number and then just agree to the terms by clicking this checkbox and then click on create profile to create your profile. If everything went well, you'll get this confirmation that registration was completed and that they have sent a verification email. So just go to your email and click on the verification link on the email from TranscribeMe. It will verify your email and then open up the work hub. So here I am in my email and this is the email from TranscribeMe. This is a verification link, so I'm just going to click on it and then it will open up in the work hub. The work hub basically welcomes you and lets you know that the first order of business is for you to pass the entrance exam in your chosen language. Mine is English. If you scroll down, you can see that a lot of exams are not available. But luckily, our English entrance exam is available. To access it, you need to click on check exam info and it will give you more information about the exam. As you can see, these are the two documents that you need to read and understand. These documents are the style guide as well as the English entrance exam instructions. Everything you need to pass the exams is included in these documents, so go through them carefully. You will also not be able to start the exam until you confirm that you've gone through these documents. So let me just click on these documents and open them up. So if you just click here, it starts to download. And then let me do the other one. Once downloaded, I'm going to open the style guide first. So just double click here. And as you can see, it's a 39-page document which shows the guidelines for clean verbatim. It contains things such as how do you do spacing, as you can see here. How do you identify a new speaker? What do you do when it's difficult audio, British versus US spelling? There's a lot of content here, so make sure you take your time to go through all of it. Now let's open the exam instructions. As you can see, it's a 14-page document and it shows some requirements such as age and full legal name. So let me just go there. As you can see here, you must be 18 years or older, and as I said before, you have to register with your full legal name, that is, the name that appears on your government-issued ID. You'll need to upload this ID when you take the exam. So once you're done reading the documents, go back to TranscribeMe. I have read the documents and you'll be pleased to know that on the style guide, you don't need to read the entire 39 pages. You can read the first 20, which is the basic fundamentals, and this is enough for this entrance test. The next thing that you need to do is to click on this checkbox. It basically tells TranscribeMe that you've read the documents and you're ready to take the test. Once you click on it, it will show you a button that will allow you to attempt the exam. So let me just click on it. As you can see, we now have an attempt the exam button. So just click on the button to launch the test. As you can see, our exam has got 3 sections. You've got the multiple choice sample sentences section, you've got the audio transcription section, and lastly, you've got the style guide questions section. It is recommended that you take this exam in one sitting, so make sure you set aside 2 to 3 hours. Also, if you scroll down here, Once you've put in your answer, you can click on next. Remember, once you've gone to the next question, you can never come back. And if you don't have the time to write it in one sitting, please make sure that you finish an entire section, then you can save. Because if you don't do that, you are likely to lose your progress. What I mean is you can't just answer one question from a section and then click on save. When you come back, that progress will be lost. The multiple choice simple sentences section is based on the style guide, and you need to score 100% on everything here to pass this section. When you put your answer, it has to be in capital letters with no preceding or trailing punctuation marks. That is, just have to put in A, B, or C. So let me just start my section. So my question says, a speaker says, so I think there's some things that we are like each doing that we could sort of consolidate together. What I do is I simply copy it and then paste it in Notepad before I look at the answers. And then I just go to my style guide, and the first word that I'm going to look for is R. So I go to my style guide and then search for R. As you can see, it says in clean verbatim, utterances such as R should be removed. So I go back to my Notepad, and then I know that R needs to be removed. And then the next one is, copy, Ctrl V, and then paste. And then you can see, is a crash words, and they're saying that it needs to be removed. So I go back here, and then I remove, and then I think there's some things that we are like, I'm not sure about like. So I search for like here in the style guide. And then like is also a crash word, so it needs to be removed. So like goes, and then I'm sure we need to remove it as well, but let me just check here. As you can see, it's a filler word and it needs to be removed. So I come here, I remove that, and then I'm not sure about sort of, so I'm just going to search for it. And sort of. So if you scroll down here, as you can see here, it says in regards to other crash words, do not remove too much, especially with phrases such as kind of or sort of. So sort of, I'm not going to remove it. I'm now confident that this is my answer. So my answer is, so I think there's some things that we are each doing that we could sort of consolidate together. And then I go back to the question, and then I look for that one. I think my answer is C. And then I just put in C, capital letter C. And then click on next to go to the next question. Even though I've just done one question, you can see that I can't save my progress. This is because you can only save your progress once you've finished a section. So once I've done my second and third questions in the multiple choice section, then I can save my progress. So I've just done the last question in my multiple choice section, and then when I clicked on save, it gave me this message: your exam is successfully saved. You can resume it anytime in the next 14 days from the saved point. Now all I need to do is just click on next. This will move me on to the audio transcription section. So it takes a bit of time to load the audio. As you can see, it's 18%, it's going up unto 100%, then I can play it. This is just like buffering. You don't need to wait for it to complete before you can start playing. So I'm just going to do this now. What you need to take into account is the English to use. As you can see here, it says use American English. You also don't need to insert speaker IDs as well as timestamps, and you can't save incomplete transcription. So you need to do this audio, finish it, click next, and then you can save the file. They even say it here. Remember that our system will not save your incomplete text. You must complete this audio, hitting next to submit your final answer, and then move on to the next section before exiting the exam to finish later. We are unable to recover unfinished audios. I've just finished my first audio transcription. It was 4 minutes long, and it took me slightly more than an hour to transcribe. I'm just going to click next to move on to the next one. Just finished my second audio transcription. This one was a little bit better, and it took about 30 minutes. I'm just going to click on next to move on. I've just completed my last transcription. Like the previous two, it's 4 minutes, and this one took me about an hour to complete. I'm now going to click on next to move to the next section, which is the style guide section. In this section, we've got both multiple choice questions as well as questions that want you to type in true or false. On the multiple choice questions, capitalize the first letter, that is your answer, and don't put any punctuation. You must pass all 10 questions with 100% to pass this section. So once you put an answer, you just click on next to go to the next question. One of the questions in this section was, what should you do if you accidentally submit an incomplete file? Enter A, B, or C in the box below. So what you simply do is go to your style guide and then search for submit. And then look at what they say. Okay, this is about the foreign tag. That's not what I want. And then if you click next, you can see here, early submission. If you accidentally submit a file before it was completed, please raise a ticket with the help desk immediately and include the session or job ID found on your work history page, and admin will be able to send it back to you. So if you go back to the test, you see that the answer is A. I'll just scroll down and then click on next. I have just done my last question in this section, which is also the last question in my exam, and I'm now going to click next. As you can see from my results, I passed the multiple choice sample sentences section as well as the style guide questions, but I failed the transcriptions. As you can see here, I got upper of 96%, but it wasn't enough to pass. So I now need to retry those sections. Don't retry the questions that you have already passed in the hopes of getting a better score. You have already passed. You've got a maximum of 2 attempts, so every time you take the exam, you've got 1 attempt and 1 retry. If you fail the retry, you'll have to wait for 30 days. So you have to make sure that your ducks are in order before you take the retry. As you can see, I've now passed my audio transcription section. If you check under retries of maximum possible, it now says 2 out of 2, which means I used my 1 retry to try and fix the small errors that I had so that my audio transcription would pass. And if you check under the retry section, there's no longer any retry link. This means that if I had failed one of these, I would have failed the exam and I would have to wait for 30 days and then get another attempt. Check out my next video if you want to see how I managed to make sure that I would pass my audio transcription section within the 1 retry. The next thing that I need to do is just click here on complete exam. This will basically take my results and send them to TranscribeMe so that they can verify and then activate my profile. This takes about 2 to 3 business days. But before you do that, just make sure that you've uploaded your ID, because if not, they'll ask you for your ID and that can extend the time from the normal 2 to 3 days. So to do that, you just click here on my account and then click on upload, select your ID and then open to select it and then scroll down and then click on save. As you can see, it's loading my ID. When it's done, just click on exams to go back to our exam, select it here, click on continue exam, and then click on complete exam. As you can see, it has given me the confirmation that I've passed the exam. And like I told you, you'll hear from them within the next 2 to 3 business days for your account to be activated. Now, if you click on exams again, it now tells you that you completed the exam on 11 May 2020 and the result is passed. Overall, I think this is a difficult exam to pass. The multiple choice section as well as the true and false sections are easy, but the audio transcription section is difficult. So make sure that you spend time on that and make sure that your answer 100% conforms to the style guide. If you like this video, please smash the like button and subscribe to my channel for more content like this as well as to support us. Thank you for watching.